Hello, beautiful team. Army of Light, Earth Division, Shauna L. Francis here. Today is October 9th, 2022. Welcome to the Daily Ascension Update. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been just such a great day. I'm feeling so good, high vibe, lots of energy, loving this Indian summer that we're having here in Portland. It's again over 80 degrees today. Living the dream, that's what we're doing. Or we're dreaming our lives, maybe both of those things. I don't really know. Melchizedek came through today, also did quite a bit of energy work on me. Same idea as yesterday, more infusion of their essence into my aura. A lot less talking today, a lot more of that. And then, so I want to go through what they had to say, but then I want to tell you about the halls of Amenti last night, more Ark of the Covenant stuff. It's just coming at me so quickly. I don't even know which way is up, but I'm enjoying it, having fun here. We're just going with the flow. Also, I just signed a contract. I'm going to purchase a floating home here in Portland on the Columbia River. So everything just got finalized today, and I signed the paperwork for this. I don't have a lot of money, but what is so cool about this property, and it just came up in the last couple of weeks, is that the seller is offering financing, and I haven't had a real job now for 4 years. So it'd be almost impossible for me to get a mortgage. So I've always wanted a floating home. I've looked at these things for 25 years, and now I have this opportunity with seller financing with a huge down payment, but seller financing to get into this place. So lease is up here at the end of November, so I'm gonna be really busy. We're hoping to close within 2 weeks is all, like a little over 2 weeks. It'll be probably a bit of a miracle if we can hit that, but that's the goal. So lots going on in my world here, and it's just gonna get, I think, even busier from what Melchizedek said today. All right, so these guys came in. Good afternoon, Shauna. This is Melchizedek. Thank you once again for taking time out of your busy schedule to commune with us in this way, to make yourself fully available to this process, to allow us to share the space with you so deeply, to get in alignment with light, with love, and high vibrational living. So they say a lot of the similar stuff when they come in. It's, it's very sweet. And, the feelings of love that come through are just so amazing. Your thoughts, your words, and actions in alignment with your highest good. All right, they talked about that yesterday. Them infusing their essence into my consciousness. And, even before I'm thinking, before I'm acting, before I'm talking, I am doing a bit of a check-in with these guys. So we talk about this today. We're here to help you, dear one. We're here to shepherd in this new world with you and everybody else on the planet who's taken the oath to make this a reality. It's very, very, very likely that you have taken an oath to help this planet ascend. That's why you are here at this particular time. That's why you are watching these videos. You're drawn to this energy. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How exciting is this? And they said, we are most humbled. We honor you and we thank you. So always, always so much love and respect and honoring coming from these guys. And I said, thank you, Melchizedek. I'm just feeling it's just so unbelievably magical. It's been hard to get to this point, but I'm feeling on top of the world right now. Sounds like I have a lot of hard stuff that's behind me now, but it looks like I'll have different hard stuff coming based on what they've been talking about the last few days. They said, yes, dear one, but absolutely nothing to fear. It's all part of the plan. Everything is known. There will be no surprises, at least not on this side of the veil, on their side of the veil. I may have surprises. We may have surprises. They're not going to clue us in on everything that's going on here, but at least for them and the vantage point that they have, there's going to be no surprises. So this is all part of the plan. It's part of the scheming and coordination that's happening. This is why it is so important that we are steering the ship here, dear one, steering the ship. If I had $1 for every time my team told me they need to be steering the ship, they have used this metaphor for years now. I'd say really heavily the last two years. Me letting go of control, allowing them to lead, going with the flow, getting out of my own way, knowing that I am one small part of a larger plan, that we need to be coordinating together, that there's just too much at stake here for this, and I need to be following their advice to a T. That is so hard for me to do. It's so hard for me to, believe me, it's easier than it was. I used to fight this quite a bit, not really consciously fighting it, but where I sit now and looking back, I can see how, well, I'm going to let you control certain things over here, but I'm going to really control the rest of this. But really the clarity that I got today from Melchizedek is that this is all encompassing control. Like, they are literally steering the ship. Like, I'm still here, I'm still alert, I'm still with everybody, but they're going to be the ones to be leading what's going on. They said, you're alert, you're awake, you're conscious, but you are receiving instructions. I said, yes, team. Does this include the mushroom business, or more just around these daily channelings and the messages that I'm bringing to the collective? And they said, everything, dear one, everything. Allow us to steer the ship, and always as you are able and conscious of this. So it's a matter of me being conscious of this, of their consciousness being here in my field, and really inviting and welcoming them into my world, and allowing them to help really with everything that I'm doing up to this point. I mean, this is right now in this moment. So in any given moment, I am deferring to Melchizedek in terms of what I'm doing. And it is truly about being in the upper room, as they like to say through Paul Selig's books, upper room, this higher vantage point. I'm still me, I'm still who I am, but everything I see and the energy that I am emitting is going to be of a higher vibrational nature. And it's seeing through the illusion, it's seeing beyond duality, it's seeing beyond people's pain. It's knowing that everybody is in lesson. It's not taking things personal. It's not being in judgment. It's not worrying about this, that, or another thing. It's certainly not living in the past, and it's certainly not living in the future, but it's being extremely grounded in the here and now. And I have been a planner, and a worrywart. And so this is such a beautiful opportunity for me to just allow the larger plans of the universe to get in alignment with that, and to allow myself to be carried versus pushing that boulder up the hill. So it's really quite beautiful. I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling really good about this. I'm like, okay, you're saying everything. Well, and I started listing things off. I've got this, I've got that. What about this? What about that? And they were answering me like, well, for this one, do this. And they say basically, well, what I said was, I'm not exactly sure how to involve you in these things, to be quite honest. Again, if I've just got things moving, like buying this house, and these other things, I'm like, I just kind of go. But they said if there was any doubt, that I just need to simply ask. I need to just simply ask, what should I do here? What do you think? Or, get their opinions, I guess. So I did. I went through a few big things that I have in the works right now, and they gave me advice on what to do. Some of the stuff's personal. Basically, on the mushroom business, they say full steam ahead. Get a place picked out. Get my consultants lined up. Couple other loose ends there. So full steam ahead on the mushroom grow business. There's an Army of Light member who's got a friend who's here in Portland who knows everything about growing mushrooms. So I'm going to meet with that person this week. I'm so thankful. These synchronicities, you guys are incredible. One other little side note on synchronicities. Yesterday, I'm walking to the gym. I look down and I see a little coin purse. I pick it up. And it's in the middle of it's on the side of the street, actually. I'm walking on the street, and I see this thing on the street. And I open it up, and there's a stack of credit cards in there. I pull the credit cards out. The name on it is a person who I know. She is a starseed person. She's totally in our circle here. She runs the Starseed Collective. She's a massage therapist, an energy worker, a healer. She brought Steve Nobel over to Portland 4 years ago from the UK, and we had a weekend workshop with Steve Nobel. So I'm like, this is not her. I cannot believe this. So I put the stuff back in and I went knocking on doors until I found her. She wasn't there, but her daughter was there, and I handed off the wallet. But I reached out to her, this woman. I'm like, you're not going to believe this, but I found your wallet. We must have to meet for some reason. So we're trying to line up a coffee date this week. I just love this stuff, you guys. It's just, that's what I guess these guys are talking about. Just get out of my own way. Allow these things to come to me. Go with the flow. Don't try to make things happen. Don't effort so hard. Take a nice deep breath and allow, and things are going to go much more smoothly for me. I have a feeling. All right. They talked about they're going to do another meditation in the next couple of months. They said yes to the Zoom calls, and they said they would be there with us. So I'll get a couple of those on the books. And then I asked, can I tell the team about what happened last night in the halls of Amenti? All right. So they said, of course, as you wish. So last night, I do my invocation to get into the halls of Amenti, and nothing happened for a while, but the energy shifted for me quite a bit. So I thought, well, I'm just going to wait this out and see is that maybe this is just an energy exchange today. Usually there are visions that start coming pretty quickly, and it's kind of like watching a movie. These scenes just kind of unfold in front of me. So I would say 4 or 5 minutes passed, and I start to get the vision. I'm in my brown long robe, like I told you about before, leaning down, and I look up and there's that Ark of the Covenant. I'm in that hall with the Ark of the Covenant back in that brown robe that I used to wear when I was working with my Pleiadian guide Siri. So I thought, holy crap, oh my gosh, I'm back here with the Ark of the Covenant. I hadn't been in since the first time I told you all about what happened there. So and if you haven't seen that video, guys, check that out. You can't miss it. Ark of the Covenant and what happened. It's been probably 2 weeks. So I stand up, I start walking toward the Ark of the Covenant, and I get up to it and I look down and I'm back in that purple robe with the gold accents, the gold trim on it. I'm just like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening again. What is this going to be all about? So I had a moment, to really I walked around the Ark. It's up on a platform, like right here, like maybe at the height of my shoulders. And so it's like, it's up above me here. But I walk around this thing and I'm kind of looking at the legs and I'm looking at some of the inscriptions and designs. Nothing really stood out, just maybe some, just some general inlays. So I got all the way around, come back to the front of it there, and then I levitate up like I did before. I thought, oh my gosh, here we go. Levitate up, and I went ahead and just put my hands on the Ark, just as I had before, and just kind of waited. And this time I got a better look at the figures on top of the Ark on the lid. And their Asian motif is, from what I can tell, Asian, not like, I don't know what else it would be, but it's not like the pictures that I'm seeing online. More like an Asian style, like a cross between a dog and a dragon, with ruby red round eyes, and kind of a paw up and a long tail. There's 2 of them. They're kind of facing. If they would be facing like this, but they're turned a little bit. They're turned each opposite. So I imagine I'll get a chance to see this lid a little bit more. Maybe I can even try to get a sketch done or something. And sure, the top of this thing starts to open. So the lid starts to slide off just as it had before. And I thought, okay, what am I going to see in here this time? Well, it's the same, I look in, it's the same thing as before. A reptilian skin. It's like the shell of a body folded up. Well, I go ahead and I see myself picking this thing up again, And this time I'm lowered down with it onto the floor, and I lay it flat on the ground. And I'm just kind of watching this, more third party watching this kind of play out, but it is me doing this. And I lay this thing down on the ground, and it's flat. And I'm just waiting. And then all of a sudden, this is now has a body in it. So this is actually a real reptilian laying on the ground in front of me, laying on the ground. It's a body, and it's breathing. This thing is breathing. And if you remember from my other video, this is me. This was me 200,000 years ago or so. This was an aspect of my soul when I decided to leave the reptilian race behind and move forward, working for the light. Okay. So this body animates. This is now a living, breathing body here in front of me, and this reptilian stands up slowly. I'm like just observing this. And 7-ish feet tall, 6.5, 7.5 feet tall. It's big. It's a big being. Teeth coming out like around the mouth, like you'd see a crocodile. Big eyes, the slit, the ridges on the top of the head, broad shoulders. What really struck me were the hands. And I don't recall this from when I had the skin up this 2 weeks ago when I was in the Ark of the Covenant, but really curved dagger style fingernails, like claws, and then claws that were coming out of, like a few claws coming out of the knuckles. So gnarly hands, gnarly. And I'm just, oh my gosh, well this being, I don't know if it's telepathic or what. It's kind of like waking up and is just disoriented. And the question was like, well, who are you? And I said, well, and I'm in my robe, I've got the hood on. He's not really seeing much of me. I think it's a he. And I said, well, I'm an aspect of the same soul that you are. We are aspects of the same soul. I said, I used to be you 200,000 years ago. And at that time, after this lifetime as a reptilian, our soul decided that we were going to be working for the light, and we left the reptilian race behind. And this being says to me, like he's exasperated, he's just like, oh, can there be anything more weird going on? And basically he said, well, I'm glad to hear that because I'm so tired of the carnage. I'm tired of the carnage. I'm like, okay. And I just got a chance to kind of really look at this being and just really being in awe of it. Like, wow, look at how magnificent this being is. He's just powerful. And I felt a real kinship with this being. It was just so weird. So I can't even imagine. Well, so basically I was explaining, we share the same soul. We're an aspect of each other. We're aspects of the same soul. And he's like, okay, all right. And it gets kind of fuzzy there, but basically after that exchange, he's back in the Ark of the Covenant. I watched that thing slide and shut, and I kind of back away from it, and I'm back in my brown robe, and I'm leaving the hall. And I said, always at that point, I'm like, all right, team, please let me know what I need to understand about this vision. And they said, well, you are going to be able to get to know this aspect of yourself. And it's just, I think it was Cryon, guys. Who was it like 2 weeks ago that said, work beyond the veils to get to know the different aspects of our soul. So we're living concurrent lives. Maybe you can call them past lives, but they're probably concurrent because everything's happening at once. So like this is an aspect of me, and we're going to get to know each other. So I imagine I'll be going back there in the halls of Amenti and getting to know this aspect of myself. And they said that this is going to be helpful for my mission, to know this being and for this being to know me. so go figure. So I'm like, Melchizedek, what about this experience last night in the halls? And they're like, yeah, what was that like to meet an aspect of yourself in that way? I'm like, well, it was incredible. I mean, it was absolutely incredible. And they said, the two of you will come to know each other better as you work here, Shauna, in this lifetime toward the ascension. Melchizedek said today, this will give you great context and a deep, deep compassion for the reptilians. So this just became so personal. You'll continue to work with that aspect of yourself as this goes along and as you are ready. And at that point, Melchizedek did a lot more energy work on me because I'm probably freaking out at this point. So this mission, the idea of working with negative reptilian energy, well, here I have this opportunity now to really work with that aspect of myself from forever ago, for compassion and love, knowing the larger context, knowing that we are all one. And I mean, I think this is going to be the key to everything. So within this energy work that Melchizedek started to do, I see a cover of a book, and it's about reptilians. And I think I'm going to write this book about reptilians. I'm like, team, did I get this right? I said I'd be delighted to write a book. I've been wanting to write another book for a while, but I'm really waiting for my team's lead here. And I said I'd be delighted to write a book about the reptilians, and they said, let it be so. I'm like, okay, I'll take your lead here. And they said, Shauna, you will be busy, Shauna. You'll be so very busy. And that was about it. There you go, guys. I so appreciate all your support. Thanks to everybody who has said, hey, we're with you, Shauna, because we know, Melchizedek said that this work, and it's going to have to be about the reptilians, I imagine. It's going to come at great cost. There's going to be a lot of people who are going to be very much in fear about this. So I guess maybe this book, if I got that right today, and if this is something that will come to fruition, this could be that catalyst that kind of propels this work a little bit more forward and into more of the public domain. So, all right, guys, I think that's plenty for today. I expect to see you tomorrow. I hope everybody's doing well. Please continue with your comments. I know it's helping the collective. And again, thanks everybody for all your love and support. I love each and every one of you. Mwah. I'll see you tomorrow.